Hello there. Well, I think it's going to end in tears. And I'm referring to the sight of flags draped across streets, painted onto roundabouts, and flying defiantly from windows. It's not that rude about bunting or symbols. It's about people who are feeling ignored, caricatured and betrayed. For years, governments of every shade have stood in opposition, promising the earth only to soften into inaction once in power. And that power was secured for 4 years, 5 years. Promises on immigration, public services, sovereignty, their national pride have dissolved into excuses. The result is a deep disillusionment that has now spilled into protests. Ironically, the very elites who have caused this discontent will now move to suppress it. Power never yields easily, and when ordinary citizens reclaim their identity, those at the top respond with fear. Now they possess the tools of control, law, media, finance and bureaucracy. These tools will be turned on the very people whose patience they have exhausted. Now this is going to start, and it's going to start very quickly, in my humble opinion. The elites, our masters, the government, secure, is going to act very, very quickly. And the likely responses that we're going to see will be one, legal clampdowns. What begins as a flag or gatherings will soon be reframed as public order issues. Laws will be tightened, police instructed to disperse or fine, and courts used to intimidate individuals who persist by framing patriotism as a security problem. The establishment seems to delegitimise it. Number 2 is the media narrative. A compliant press and the commentarial will play their part. Protesters will be painted as extremists, fringe, the far right, regardless of their true motivations. The goal is simple: to shame the majority into silence by associating ordinary acts of pride with unacceptable politics. Number 3 would be the economic pressures. Elites, our masters, our supremes, understand that livelihoods are fragile. Businesses showing dissent may lose contracts, workers risk their jobs. Community projects could see funding withdrawn. Such tactics rarely make headlines, but they are powerful levers for discouraging open defiance. Now then we've got divide and rule. It's the oldest trick of them all. It's the oldest trick in the book. Elites will pit citizen against citizen by branding one group as dangerous and the other as respectable. They'll fracture solidarity and ensure resistance never grows into unity. Now, the elites have created the very protests that they feared. The backlash is of their own making. Ordinary people did not one day wake up with flags in hand. They were pushed into it. Years of political hypocrisy, sneering at patriotism and silencing a dissent created a simmering anger that had to find an expression. When immigration was out of control, what did the politician do? He promised change. Yes, change. But delivered none. When people's cost of living soared, they told citizens to tighten belts while they enjoyed privileges. When ordinary people waved their flag, they were mocked as bigots, far right, even Nazis. Each slight, each broken promise, each insult chipped away at trust until citizens turned to the simplest form of resistance: visible pride. The irony is striking. Elites tried to delegitimize patriotism, but by doing so they made it the purest symbol of protest. The more they sneered, the more powerful the act of flying the flag has now become. One of the most striking features, I think, of today's unrest is not only the behaviour of the elites, but the blindness of much of the political left. Instead of recognising flag waving as a form of democratic protest, a grassroots pushback against broken promises and elite contempt, many on the left have simply accepted the establishment's framing that displays of national pride are inherently far right or even fascist. Now, the failure has deep roots. For decades, sections of the left have been uneasy about patriotism, viewing it as a mask for nationalism, militarism, or exclusion. In academic circles and cultural commentary, the Union flag has often been reduced to a symbol of oppression rather than a symbol of unity. Yet in working class communities, especially those outside metropolitan centres, the flag carries a different meaning. It represents family histories, the sacrifices of wars, struggles, and a sense of belonging that transcends class and region. The tragedy is that the left once understood this connection. The trade union banner of the 19th and 20th centuries were not colourless, abstract statements of ideology. They were drenched in national and local pride, symbols of solidarity that linked class struggle with identity. The Labour movement in its earliest form spoke of ordinary people in a language of belonging as well as justice. But in recent decades this link has been severed. Mainly on the modern left now look at national symbols with suspicion, retreating into cosmopolitan ideals that fail to resonate beyond city centres. Now, this detachment has two consequences. First, it allows the elites to smear patriotic protest as far right without challenge, because few on the left step forward to defend the legitimacy of an ordinary pride. Second, it deepens the alienation of working class citizens who feel they no longer have a political home, where once they the left gave their voice, now it seems to scold them for speaking at all. In short, the left's failure is not simply a political miscalculation. It's a profound cultural misunderstanding. But by ignoring the deep emotional and historical resonance of patriotism, they have misunderstood the very people they represented. And until they recover that connection, they will remain complicit in allowing elites to dismiss legitimate process as extremism, whilst leaving the field open for other people to weaponise patriotism for their own ends. Now the government and the elites are going to fight back. They're going to fight back with laws, media and pressure. They will try their best to delegitimise protests they themselves have provoked. Yet history suggests such tactics only delay the inevitable. Now suppression may cause suffering, but it also hardens the resolve. The tragedy for the left is that, blinded by its own hostility to symbols of patriotism, it has missed an opportunity to stand with ordinary people against the elite hypocrisy. Instead, it has helped to entrench the very establishment it claims to resist. And so, the flags keep flying. There are more than symbols of defiance. They are evidence of a political class so disconnected from its people, and even the simplest act of pride has become revolutionary. In the meantime, take care. Bye now.